then when you're validating that, or maybe you're guiding someone who's non-technical and validating an idea, Jonathan, is it you that coined the term passing the mom test?
No, that's from a book, The Mom Test.
Okay. But
Yep.
I mean, that's also another trap though, that you can get into where you build something, an interface, and everyone goes, oh, this is amazing. This is awesome.
Yes.
And then you launch and it's like, no one handed you any money. How can
Right.
you distinguish when you're in that path? Let's say you're doing service as a service, or you're launching an interface to kind of validate the real difference between noise or revenue.
Right. So that book is absolutely fabulous. I think everybody who is thinking about doing something like this should read that book. It's by Rob Fitzpatrick. It's genius. And there are three, like everyone, because everyone's going to be, no one wants to like rain on your parade and say like, oh, you know, they're just, yeah, go for it. I'm sure somebody's going to want this. Not me, but I'm sure somebody will. And he's got there's three ways to tell if someone is just being nice but lying to your face, or actually interested. And they're only going to be the key test. There's three tests. If they are willing to spend more time with you, like, we need to have another phone call about this. I'm going to bring my COO. I want you to do this presentation for them. So they're like willing to invest time. They're not to the money stage yet, but if they're willing to invest more time to find out more, that's a good sign. That's a real signal. That's not noise. The other thing is if they are willing to give you money, like, I will pre-order this right now. I want you to keep doing this. I really want this thing. That one's obvious. And the last one is reputation, which is interesting. I wouldn't have thought of that, but it's totally true. Where they say, I am not interested in this, but I know someone who is, and I'm going to put my reputation on the line by introducing you to and suggesting that he or she talk with you about this, because I'm pretty sure they're going to want it. So if they invest time, money, or reputation in your idea, that's a real sign. But if they just say, great job, let me know how it goes, that's your mom saying, good job, honey, that sounds great, you know?
Yeah, I think in the book they half of that I think is conditioning yourself to ask correctly. Because if I ask you, hey Jonathan, do you like my website? You're probably not gonna be like, no, dude, this is trash. You're probably gonna be like, yeah, you know, it's got these good colors. You're gonna find something that you like about it. But if I say, you know, hey, is this how you would have designed this? Or hey, you know, pretend that you are X using this. Versus some other thing. You know, it's all about how you phrase that question. Because if you just ask somebody, hey, will you give me a pat on the back, or will you just absolutely like crush my hopes and dreams? They're going to pat you on the back.
Right.
You know? Right.
Yeah, I think a great question is, this might be from the book or it might just be from my experience, is just like, do you know anybody who would need this? And if it's a nice, because if they might be one of the people, right? So they go, oh, I need this.
Right.
Or they'll be like, yes, they have a Rolodex moment. Alice and Bob, I think, need this. They're exactly who would need this. And they understand the value proposition, and they're willing. They're either, so it'll either be them saying, yes, I'll give you my time to give me a full demo, or I'll be a beta and I'll test it. Or they'll pay up front. They'll invest in it. Like, they'll give you some kind of money. Or they'll introduce you to someone, you know, Alice and Bob, they should definitely see this. And if you look at your own behavior, you see yourself doing this all the time with like a new book that you're listening to that you really like, or reading that you really like that you recommend to people. Like, that is you putting your reputation on the line that, hey, if you read Starter Villain, you're going to be glad I told you about it. And it's like, if you do a demo with, you know, whatever Ken of this new Hooli app, you're going to be glad you did. It's the same thing. Like, you're not going to run around recommending that people waste their time, right? So it's a really good signal.